Cody, what are you doing? We have a review to do right now.
I'll be useful, sir. Hey, Cody here from Movie Losers, back with another review. This time, Kieran and I checked out the hotly anticipated Dunkirk from acclaimed director Christopher Nolan. You may know him from the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception. The one with magic. Hugh Jackman's there. Christian Bale. What else has he done? Interstellar.
Yeah.
I feel like he has a lot of movies with vowels beginning those titles.
And movies that just trip you out.
What's the one with the magic? You think of that one? I just rewatched Memento. Not so high on that.
You like
to be honest with you. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it kind of fell flat at the end, like the twist, if you will, didn't really do much for me.
Right.
And Insomnia.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed that one a whole lot.
He's great.
The Prestige, that's what it is. Anyway, as you can tell, we are pretty big Nolan fans.
Yeah.
DC fans. We love Batman, love him as a director. He is one of those directors where it's his movie, you anticipate the movie a lot because it's Nolan directing it.
Certain stamp on it.
Yeah, for sure. Like a Scorsese, Tarantino, you know, he's in that same sentence when you mention great directors who are currently working. And for this movie, I gotta say I was maybe a lot of let down. Is it a bad made movie? No. I mean, you're not gonna get that from this guy. It's written and directed by Christopher Nolan himself, who works with Jonathan Nolan a lot, his brother, in the scripts. This was just him this time. And it was a very realistic take. You're dropped immediately into this Dunkirk situation where English soldiers, French soldiers can't get home. I guess their military decided we need to focus our resources elsewhere.
Right.
And so you lose some character development and you sacrifice that for the realism of, I suppose, the moment thrusting you in. And so it had its hot moments for me where it was tense, but it didn't maintain that.
Right.
How did you feel about it?
I was just like you. I was very kind of disappointed in this movie. When we would go see other movies, we would see this Dunkirk trailer and we get excited about it. We were like, man, this is going to be great. You could just kind of get that feel. And I just was let down, honestly. You don't have a lot of dialogue in this movie, which is fine if you want to go that route.
Right.
But to me, you have to have those moments of on your edge kind of viewing, and I didn't get that. I was kind of just like, okay, this is happening. Okay, this is happening. It was nothing that just got me, you know what? Okay, let's go.
I understand the angle of let's make this realistic. Let's shine some light on this particular historical moment. I mean, for all I know, it's not realistic at all. I didn't read into how accurate it is, but for example, and I don't know shit about World War II. To be honest with you. Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan.
Right.
I heard before this came out, this is Nolan's Saving Private Ryan. It's going to be that level of awesome. Made up story, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes you really get invested in those characters and the horror of World War II, especially that opening Normandy scene.
Right.
So it's entirely fictional, but it accomplishes, if you weren't already invested in World War II or caring about the sacrifice all those soldiers had to endure, what was going on in life 60 plus years ago, that movie pulls in everybody. This one, I think you're going to appreciate it more, maybe if you're older, if you like the realistic take.
Yeah.
Again, if you're a casual moviegoer, I don't know if you'll appreciate it. I mean, the cinematography is really beautiful, too. There's a lot of... It was filmed exclusively, I believe, with IMAX cameras. Yeah. We didn't see it in IMAX, unfortunately, but you get those really wide, sweeping shots.
Right.
But that can only sustain a movie for so long, and it is shorter for him as a director compared to his last, Interstellar, the Dark Knight movies. It's like an hour 47, would you say?
Yeah.
So it's... I don't know. I didn't like what was sacrificed for what was added in this movie.
I mean, you have top name brand A-list celebrities, or actors, who are in this movie, and you just, I felt like you're kind of shackling them by not giving them dialogue. I mean, and I couldn't, I understand why. I'm like you, I understand the route they were going. I just didn't think you sacrificed too much to execute something that couldn't sustain it, like you said.
Right.
To piggyback on what you're saying.
So, and the story's kind of told from two perspectives. One's the boat with Mark Rylance.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy, if you pronounce that.
Yeah.
Cillian.
Fagan,
I don't know.
What the hell?
That was the most compelling part for me. And George, who that part in the trailer made us laugh. I'll be useful, sir.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every movie we saw that in.
He ends up being the most compelling character.
Yeah.
That and whoever the other actor was that played the son on that boat.
Right.
That's the more compelling story to me. I don't know if it's the gravitas that those actors bring.
Yeah.
Just simply with their craft, but
they seem like the ones who got the most dialogue out of anybody.
Right.
That's,
I mean,
that's
like
the part where you kind of get to know somebody and you're like sympathetic towards them.
Yeah. This was made purposefully with kind of, I don't say nameless, but soldiers where it feels like I think Nolan was going for a year in the mix with what's going on. You don't really understand what's going on.
Right.
Like Harry Styles is fine in it. The other main kid who's acting, they're fine, but you're not engaged. You're just watching a movie and you're just like, huh. Oh, it gets tense for a second, but all right.
Yeah. I mean, you have Tom Hardy in there as well. I'm a huge Tom Hardy fan. I love
one of the best working actors.
I think he's one of your top guys in the industry. But he might have had 5 lines in the whole thing.
Right.
Was that? And I did find that was a very I think entertaining aspect of the movie. I did sit there. I was kind of like a little bit peek forward when that happened, but he didn't get as much.
The plot lines kind of came together for me at the end.
Yeah.
To make it more dramatic,
right.
But at the same time, it's just by that point, I don't know. It's not a movie I was. It's great to see once, and if you can and want to see it in the biggest screen possible. I think IMAX really would have served this movie had we seen it in IMAX, but. As far as rewatchability goes, I'm not gonna pick this up again.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Unless I learn a lot of, about Dunkirk, what happened. Maybe I'll invest in the actual story more and go back to this movie. But I think there's better movies to check out this weekend.
Yeah.
If I'd see Spider-Man: Homecoming a second or third time before I'd see this again.
Yeah,
easy.
I would. Yeah, I agree.
So let's wrap it up.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 5. I think you nail it completely on the head when you say that this is not a movie I would rewatch again.
Mm-hmm.
One time is fine. If you're a wartime kind of fan, you'll find some enjoyment out of this. But for the level of expectation I had in this movie with the actors, the director, and just the story, the trailers, I thought it was a little bit of a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
I will say one thing that we didn't mention yet that is high on my list. I thought the score by, Hans Zimmer was excellent.
Can't go wrong.
Excellent. And it is a 3 out of 5 for me. Check it out if you're interested in that, but it is a little bit of a letdown in my mind.
Yeah. So I'm gonna also go 3 out of 5. From a technical standpoint, you could score it higher, but I always include rewatchability.
Yeah.
That in the theater, in that moment, did it get me? Did I have an absolute blast?
Yeah.
And I didn't, and so I'm gonna go 3.
Yeah.
The same score as Baywatch, if you keep track of these. So yeah. But worth seeing, regardless. Regardless of our score, it's worth seeing, especially if you're interested in it. So, with that, we're the Movie Losers. I'm gonna go gag down the rest of this.
Gag down?
I don't know where that came from.
We know where it came from.
I'll be useful, sir. I'll be useful, sir. I'm gonna be useful, sir. I'll be useful, sir. I'll be I feel like Simple Jack now. I'll be useful, sir. All right, that's enough.
You gotta give me something.
Gotta give Daddy something.